In today's tutorial, we're going to make a simple fabric poppy. The items you will need are a length of red fabric or ribbon, some cotton thread, a needle threader, a needle, a black button, some pins, a ruler, and a pair of scissors. First step, you need to take your length of fabric and fold it in half. This is lengthwise. Get your pins at the ready and the ruler. And we're going to divide it up into equal sections. So we need 5 sections. Our piece of fabric is about 40 centimetres in length. And so we need to take the pin. I'm going to pop the pin into the fabric at about 8 centimetres along. So get your pins in straight. Keep your fabric smoothed out. Another measurement, 8 centimetres, and pop a pin in. Keep working your way along to the end, smoothing it out until you've got 5 equal sections along the length of your fabric. Pin in there. Last one. Measurement. Pop the pin in. Just check that's equal, 8 centimetres. And that's the first part of the process. So once we've got 5 equal sections, the next step is we're going to do some simple running stitch around our fabric, around the open edges and up and around the pins to create the petals. So take a really long length of cotton, because we're only going to use one piece of cotton through the whole to do the whole process, and put a good knot in the end, and then do a simple running stitch along the short edge of your fabric to join it together. So from the folded corner down to the open edge, and then come up and do a simple running stitch along to join together those 2 open edges of the fabric. It doesn't have to be neat because you're not going to see it. Keep pulling your thread through. Just smooth it out so that it's not gathered. Just stitch up just before you meet that pin. And then we're going to turn and stitch up along the edge of that pin up to where the top of the pin is. Pull your thread through, smooth out, and then make a stitch so that you're kind of going along the top edge of the pin and then back down the other side with the running stitch. Smooth it out, not too tight. So see, it's down the short edge, long edge, up and around the pin. So we'll do it again in this section. So keep working your way along that bottom edge up to for the pin. Pull it through. Flatten it out. Pull on the edge of the pin to the top. And make a stitch just at the top of the pin. And back down the other side. There we go, so you'll carry on doing the same along till you get to the end. So here's one that I did earlier, so you see we've got the stitching all the way along. I've taken the pins out now, and we've got the 5 equal sections. We've left the thread at the end because we're going to need that to pull, so this is why it needs to be a good sturdy piece of cotton. So we're going to gently pull it gather up our petals. So the last thing you want is the cotton snapping, because then you'd have to start all over again. And that's another reason why you need a good big knot at the other end as well, because you don't want to pull it through and find the cotton comes all the way through. So keep gathering to create kind of petal shapes, keep pulling through because you want it to work through the 5 sections, creating petal shapes. Keep working it along, keep pulling the thread a bit, working along. Once you've got all 5 sections pulled, gathered together, just take a bit of time to shape out the petals. Pull that thread tight, and then we're going to stitch it together, so we need to pop the needle onto that piece of thread, and we're just going to untaffle it, and we will make a stitch in that last petal, make a knot, just knot it off so that it holds that petal together, it doesn't come apart. And then take your two ends to connect the flower together and make a few simple stitches. You don't have to be really neat because you won't see it because it gets covered. Put the back there, pull it through. There, got your flower shape. So we're going to pop a button in the middle there, but there's still quite a gap, so we need to make some simple stitches, gathering the edges of the petals together, pulling them in to fill in that hole in the middle. So stitch through from one side and come up through the other to pull those petals closer together. Up, just adjust the petals, then you get the black button, and that's going to go in the middle of your flower. So pop your finger on it, hold it in place, and then come through the button from the back, the needle, and thread that through, stitch it on into place. Good few stitches to keep it secure. You can always pop a little safety pin on the back, and then you can wear your poppy on your coat or hat or bag or whatever you like. So just make some stitches and make a little knot to finish it off, snip it off. And there we have our simple fabric poppy. So I hope you've enjoyed today's craft tutorial and that you'll join us again next week to find out another simple craft that you can do at home.